Happy Monday, ladies. I thought today I would talk about following our plans and being deliberate in what we decide to put into our mouths. Tanny had her video today. Today's actually Thursday. And she had mentioned about, following your plan. And do you have a plan to get to where you want to be and actually, sticking to it so that you can actually see the results. And it really struck home with me because I have my plan. And do I follow it all the time? No. And why don't I follow it? Like, what prevents me from following my plan and seeing the results I want to see? And I think for me, it falls back to Angel's video where she talked about self-imposed limitations. I think for me, I have this self-imposed limitation that I'm pregnant and I am not going to have the figure or the results that I want because I'm pregnant. And I have to wait until I have the baby to see the results I want to see. And, I was just thinking about that. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. And I was like, you know what? That's not true. Because I could, I have gained some body fat since getting pregnant. And there's no need for that. And I could reduce some of that. Granted, I'm still going to have a humongous belly, but that's the baby, right? And I could feel better, and I could reduce some of the extra fluff that's been accruing since I got pregnant. And so I decided to kind of commit to my plan and even change it just a little because I'm at a stage in my pregnancy where I'm starting to get nauseated again, and there is just not room in my stomach for food and the baby. And so I decided to switch over to 4 green smoothies, doing like a green smoothie type diet for a while just to see if that helps me feel better. I did it yesterday. That was my first full day of doing it. So I did 4 green smoothies yesterday, and I really actually felt good. And I never got ravenously hungry or felt deprived. Like, I was fine. And my weight was down 4.5 pounds this morning from yesterday, which just baffles me because obviously it's got to be water weight, but I was eating my raw vegan plan before I did that. And so how could I possibly have 4.5 pounds like that just drop off? It's got to just be the food in my guts and it's all clearing out. But I wanted to share with you guys a little experience that my daughter had that I think kind of helps illustrate this whole concept of, mapping out our plan and sticking to it to get to where we want to be. In our religion, we have temples, and we teach our children that, we want them to go to the temple because that's where where we're sealed together as a family. And that's where we make covenants that allow us to return to our Father in heaven. And so it's kind of like the Mount Olympus, you could say, for our eternal progression on this earth, is that we're trying to get to the temple, and getting to the temple is not something anyone can do. You can't just go in the temple. You have to, you have to be baptized into the church, and you have to live your life a certain way, and you have to have a testimony, and you have to, there's things that need to be done, and you have to work at it, and it's earned, And so they were trying to teach our youth, those are the kids ages 12 to 18. They were trying to teach our youth that, if you, sure, all of our youth are like, yeah, we want to get married in the temple, of course. Not all of them, but you get the point. And trying to illustrate the fact that, it's not something easy. You got to work for it, and you got to plan, and you need a map. You need to map out how you're going to get there. And so to illustrate this, they had all the youth get into cars and with the leaders, and they had they had a coin. And so they just drove from the church parking lot and they just started driving. So the nearest temple to us is about 15 minutes away, which is amazing because in Tucson it was 2 hours away. So this is really nice. And what they did was whenever they had to come to a stop, they flipped the coin. And if it was, heads, they would turn left. And if it was tails, they would turn right. And they never went straight. They always had to turn. And so, you could imagine every stop sign and every light and every stop they had to make, they're going left, right, left, right. They're just going all over the place trying to get to the temple. Well, they obviously did not make it to the temple. They ended up in a Walmart parking lot. So, did they reach their goal? No. Are there enticing things at Walmart? Sure. There's ice cream and food and clothes and games and toys and sure, there's stuff at Walmart they would want, but was that like what they truly wanted? Like the Mount Olympus thing. The temple is kind of like the Mount Olympus. That's what they really deep down really wanted and were striving for. And then they got distracted by all these heads and tails and ended up at Walmart. And so they were just trying to illustrate that, you need to have a map. You need to plan how you're going to get there. And you need to follow your map. And if you, of course, sure, sometimes we get lost and we make a wrong turn or whatever. And, with our food plan, sometimes we eat the wrong thing. But so we pause, we reassess where we're at, and we start, we remap how to get to where we wanted to be. And then we proceed and we stick to the new plan, the adjusted map. It's like the rerouting on your GPS, and so it's just really kind of coincides with our plan to get to where we want to be, our why. What is our why, and how are we going to get there? What is our end goal? What is our Mount Olympus? What is our temple? And what are we doing? If food comes before our face or is put in front of us, do we flip a coin, heads or tails? Heads, we eat it, tails, we don't. And expect to get to the health and healing or figure that we want? Is that going to get us there? No, it's not going to get us there at all. We know that. We have to have our plan. So when food is put before us or situations are put before us, we can go, okay, well, my goal is to get here, and my plan says to do this to get there, so your decision is already made for you. And then you can easily, hopefully, reach your goals. So, I don't know, I just thought that was kind of interesting how it kind of just occurred to me just recently that, what, I can reach goals. Like, I don't have to be like, well, I'm pregnant and I can't change anything until after I'm pregnant. That's not the case. I can work harder. I can do better. So I was thinking about what are the things that I do that are deliberate, in my routines and my daily habits and what I'm doing, those deliberate things that get me to where I want to be. And I do have some that are like very dead set in me that that's who I am. One is I exercise every day. That's who I am. I've always done that. Well, last 17 years I've done that. And I drink my lemon water. It's not a problem. I drink my celery juice. Not a problem. My 2 smoothies throughout the day for breakfast and lunch is not a problem. The problem comes at dinner time. And also comes at like snack time if I get really, really hungry, and the problem occurs too when I sit there and I go, what do I feel like eating? What sounds good? What do I want to eat? Oh, that's just a can of worms. If I go there, that's it. It's all downhill from there. And so I realized that I need to be like, no, this is what I'm going to do. These are my options. Actually, I don't even have options. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to eat it. And I found yesterday that knowing that I was just going to do the green smoothies kind of helped with that. Because a lot of times it's at dinner time, but I'm like, oh, I don't feel like eating anything. So what do I feel like eating? And usually it's dates and nut butters. That's what it usually is. So I need to not do that. And so I think that's why yesterday it was just great. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have another green smoothie. And if I'm still hungry after that, guess what? I'm going to have another green smoothie. No big deal, right? So I'm doing that again today, and I'm going to continue that throughout the rest of this week. And we'll just see how it goes. But maybe think about your own situation and what are you doing that's deliberate to get you to where you want to be? And what are you doing that's more of a toss the coin, flip the coin, heads or tails kind of thing? And how can we eliminate the uncertainty in that and become more deliberate in what we're doing to reach our goals? So I just wanted to share that little message with you. Hopefully you have a beautiful Monday, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.